Nice to be back here again. Still got a minute before we start. You are welcome to lie down for the first part of the practice if you'd like to. Of course, you can always stay seated if you prefer. And if you have a strap or a scarf, you might like to just pop that next to the mat for one of the stretches, but it doesn't matter if you don't have one. So just taking these first few moments to settle on your mat, whether you're lying down or remaining seated. You might like to close the eyes and just take a few slow breaths out through the mouth, perhaps even making an audible sighing sound. Morning, Chris. Letting go of all of the events of yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that, as you bring your full attention to this present moment. So as you lie down or sit on your yoga mat, can you honor where you are at right now? No judgment, just witnessing, noticing with big-hearted, caring attention. Can you honor where you are at right now? And I invite you to reflect on the following questions. Where am I standing in my life right now? Where am I standing in my life right now? What new invitations might be calling to me? What new invitations might be calling to me? And what is still possible? What is still possible? Late last year, I joined the poet David Whyte online for a 3-week course focusing on his latest poetry. It was inspiring, stimulating, thought-provoking, and heartwarming. Today's practice is designed around one particular new poem by David Whyte called Still Possible. It's still possible to intuit a magnificent individual arrival that brings you still closer to the accompanying faraway crowd. To live bravely and always, as someone said, to the point of tears. To realize that you have always had your life shattered and your heart broken and your faith tested by loving too much and too often. And that all along, it was never too much and never too often, and that you are never, ever fully broken. It's still possible to fully understand you have always been the place where the miracle has happened. That you have been since your birth, the bread given and the wine lifted, the change witnessed and the change itself. That you have been all along a goodness that can continue to be a goodness to itself. In speaking of this poem, David Whyte suggested that we always have the ability to be found by the world again. And that a new kind of innocence is available to each of us at each stage of our journey and at each new threshold that cuts through the defensive and protective names we give ourselves. He said at each stage of our lives, we can ask, what is still possible? And that whilst we may not be able to do what our 20-year-old body could once do, other things become possible. He said one of the astonishing possibilities of every human being is the ability to transform an unpromising surrounding into a bliss-bestowing experience. And that our great task is to find love where love does not seem to be. He then said that we must start at home with ourselves and be in our bodies fully, drop down into our bodies and experience our bodies as if they were a mansion, spacious and expansive and beautiful and full of hope and possibility. So the invitation this morning is to, as we work with different movements and put our bodies into different shapes, to explore what's possible, to see if we can perhaps stay a little longer in a shape than we might normally. Because often it's our minds that give up first before the body. So try to stay a little longer in the shapes today and connect deeply with your breath, exploring what is possible. And if we imagine our bodies as mansions, perhaps today you might explore a room that you haven't noticed before. So if you're in a seated position, I'll invite you to come to lie down now on your mat. I'm going to start with the legs stretched out along the mat. When you arrive, just make sure that you are lying in a straight line. Your feet hip width apart, chin tucking down towards the chest, so the back of the neck is long. You might sigh the breath away, your arms are by your side. And when you're ready, we're going to inhale and stretch the arms all the way up overhead. Have a lovely stretch from fingertip to toe tip. And as you exhale, release your arms down by your side. Let's do this twice more. Breathing in through the nose, sweep the arms overhead, point your toes, stretch the fingers away. And lowering the arms as you exhale. And once more. Good. Now we're going to raise the arms overhead one more time. And this time we're going to let the arms rest overhead and move into the banana pose. So this is a lateral stretch. If you're not familiar with this, have a look. We're going to walk both feet over to the bottom left-hand corner of the mat and both hands over to the top left-hand corner of the mat. So we're creating that beautiful C curve, the shape of a banana. Try to relax your right shoulder down. Keep the chin tucking forward. Your feet are flexed. And we're breathing now into this right side of the body. Keep the face soft. No tension in the mouth. Relax your teeth, your tongue. Now you're welcome to stay like this, or if you want to increase the intensity of the stretch, place your right ankle over the left ankle and hold your right wrist with the left hand. Good. Okay, let's uncross the legs, release the wrist, come back to center. And now we'll do the same stretch to the other side. So feet over to the bottom right-hand corner of the mat, hands over to the top right-hand corner, creating that lovely C curve. Try to relax that left shoulder down, back of the neck long, your feet are flexed, and starting to connect with your breath. Allowing the breath to move into that left side of the body, opening up, creating greater space through this left side. Again, if you'd like to increase the intensity of the stretch, cross your left ankle over the right, hold the left wrist with the right hand. Good, and then uncross your legs, release the hand, come back to center. And as you exhale, bring the knees into the chest, give yourselves a lovely hug, and just start to rock from side to side. Good. Let's come back to center. As we inhale now, let's stretch the legs up to the sky. Lift the arms overhead or out to the side if that's better for your shoulders, pushing the heels up towards the ceiling. And as we exhale, we draw the knees in. Head may lift towards your knees. So let's do 4 more of these. Breathe in. Take the legs up, arms overhead or to the side, push the heels up, toes back towards you. And as you exhale, draw the knees in, perhaps lifting the head. Good, so 3 more of these, linking the movement with your breath. Now, after the last one, hug the knees in, lower the head to the mat, drop your feet to the mat, hip width apart, close to the buttocks, palms alongside your hips. And on the next inhale, we're lifting into bridge. As we exhale, we roll the spine down, bring the knees in and hug. So legs to the sky, arms overhead or to the sides. Exhale, draw the knees in, give yourselves a hug, and then lower the feet to the mat, palms to the mat, and inhale, lift your hips. Exhale, lower the back, knees into the chest. Let's do a couple more of these. Breathe the legs up towards the sky. Exhale, draw the knees in and lower your feet to the mat, palms down. Breathe in, lift your hips. And lower. Give yourselves a hug. Last one, legs up to the sky. And draw in. Feet to the mat, palms down, and lift your hips. And release. Bring the knees in, a little hug, and again, a gentle rock from side to side. Okay, we're going to do a little bit more hip opening work and then take it into a twist. So stretch the legs out along the mat and we'll bring the right knee in towards the chest. Keep the left foot flexed. Now we're going to take the hands up on either side of this right knee as though this knee is a ball and the hands are shoulder width apart. We're going to start to toss the ball from one palm to the other. So just a little movement to begin. Feel again that your spine is in alignment, your chin tucking forward. And then we start to widen the space between our two palms. So you've got to toss that ball a little bit further now each time. Good, keep widening the hands until your hands are almost touching the floor on either side of you. So now it's moving into a twist. You can feel it moving into the lower back. Good, and then the next time that right knee moves over to the left hand, we're going to stay in the twist. So left hand to the outer edge of the right knee. Right arm is at shoulder height, palm facing up or down. Head may turn to the right or stay in a neutral position if that's better for your neck. So now we're settling into this shape and allowing the breath to flow, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Face relaxed, mouth, all the muscles around the mouth are soft and relaxed. And breath is flowing. Follow the pathway of your breath all the way in. And follow the pathway of your breath all the way out. Good. Now let's very slowly come back to center. Give that right knee a hug and send it along the mat. Let's do the same now on the other side. So draw the left knee in Flex the right foot, hands on either side of the left knee. Our knee is a ball, and we're going to start to toss that ball from palm to palm. Good. Starting to widen the space between your two palms. Just noticing how this side feels compared to the first. It might feel the same, it might feel quite different, and that's okay. We're just exploring our bodies this morning, the different rooms in our mansion, some we might have forgotten about. So keep widening the space. So now it's starting to move into a bit of a twist. Good. And then the next time that left knee moves over to the right side, let's stay in the twist. Left arm at shoulder height, palm facing up or down, head in a neutral position or turning to look towards your left fingers. Face is soft and relaxed. Left shoulder softening down. And your breath is flowing. Good. Let's gently come back to center. Give that left knee a hug and then stretch the left leg out along the mat. You might give the legs a little bit of a shake, sigh the breath away. And then we'll step both feet up close to the buttocks and we'll work with our hamstring stretch. So if you have a strap or a scarf, now's the time to grab that and to pop it around the ball of the right foot. If you don't have any props, that's okay. We can hold the back of the thigh, the calf, or some of you might be able to reach up and hold on to your right big toe. This left leg can stay bent for a bit of extra support for the lower back. Otherwise, we can extend that left leg along the mat, flexing the left foot. And we're holding this stretch. Exploring what is still possible within our bodies. You might like to say to yourselves a few times, I am open to exploring new possibilities. I am open to exploring new possibilities. Good. After your next exhalation, carefully release the right leg down, and we'll do the same on the other side. So perhaps popping the strap or the scarf around the ball of the left foot, or holding the back of the leg, or reaching for your left big toe. Right leg can stay bent, or you can send it along the mat, flexing the right foot. Stay with your breath. If it's feeling quite intense, deepen the breath. Have a longer and slower inhalation and exhalation. I am open to exploring new possibilities. Good. Okay, let's gently release. Pop the strap to the side. Left leg comes down. Arms by your side. Breathe and stretch your arms overhead. Point your toes. And as you exhale, release your arms down by your side. Let's do 2 more of these. Breathing in, stretching long and tall. And breathing out, lowering the arms. And last one. Good. Take a resting breath. And then we're going to roll over to our right side and do a little bit more work with our legs and our hips. So you can support the head with the palm of the right hand. Bend the right leg. So create a 90-degree angle with your right leg. The left leg is straight and the left big toe is touching the floor. We're going to just rest this left hand in front to help us balance. And as we breathe in, we're going to raise this left leg up, but keep the big toe pointing down. So have a look at your foot. Do you want the heel higher than the big toe? Push out through the heel. And as you exhale, lower down slowly. So 4 more. Inhale, take the leg up, push out through the heel and lower. Breathing in, endeavoring to straighten the knee, open the back of the knee and lower. Inhale, lift up and down. And last one. And lower it down. Now bring the knee in, give the knee a bit of a hug, bring it in towards the chest. And then we're going to see if we can hold on to the ankle or the foot behind us and work to draw the heel towards the buttocks. So hopefully feeling a lovely stretch in the front of the left thigh, up into the hip flexor. Keep that left shoulder drawing back. Breathe, face relaxed. Good. And then release it down. Okay, 1 more. Now, if this is a bit intense for your hip, please feel free to stop at any point. Left hand is in front and our left foot is at ankle height, so not on the floor. Some of you will know this, some may not, so feel free to have a look. As we breathe in, we're going to take this left leg forward. And as we breathe out, we touch the big toe to the floor. As we breathe in, we lift the foot up. And as we exhale, we take the leg back. So nice, smooth, slow movement. Take the leg forward, lower the big toe to the mat or the floor, lift the foot up and take the leg back. So 3 more of these if we can. If it's really moving into your hip, you can rest and you can even give the hip a bit of a tap or a bit of a rub, make a fist with the left hand. When you finish that fifth one, rest for a moment, perhaps give it a rub. And then we're going to do that same sequence on the other side. So come over onto the left, supporting your head with the left palm. Left leg is at a 90-degree angle. Right hand in front. Make sure the body's in a straight line. Right big toe is touching the floor this time. So as we breathe in, we're going to take this right leg up. Heel is higher than your big toe. Have a look. And exhale down. Inhale, raise the leg, push out through the heel and lower. 3 more of these. Push out through the heel and lower. And then when you finish, we're going to hug the knee in, bring it in towards the chest. And then see if you can hold your foot or your ankle. Heel might be able to touch the buttock. Feeling that lovely stretch into the front thigh, hip flexor, draw that right shoulder back, breathe. Good. And then stretch that right leg out again. So this time the foot is at ankle height. Right hand in front. As we breathe in, we take this right leg forward and exhale, big toe touches down. Inhale, foot lifts, and exhale, take it back. So 4 more of these if you can. Try to keep the movement slow and smooth, synchronizing the movement with your breath. When you finish, just rest the leg down. You can make a fist, give it a bit of a tap or a rub. Good. Okay, let's come over now onto all fours. So your wrists are directly under your shoulders. The fingers are spread wide. You can always make fists with the hands if this is a bit strong for your wrists, and your knees are directly under your hips. So we're just going to start off with a stretch for the calf. Knees can be a little closer together. Take the right leg back, tuck your right toes under, and let's hold this stretch. Connecting with your breath. Good. And then release the right knee down. Take the left leg back, tuck your toes. How does this calf feel compared to the right? Mine feels a little bit tighter, a little bit stiffer. Just breathing. Good. And then release the knee down. Now we're going to work with our tiger balance. If you feel really wobbly, just keep looking down to the mat or just in front of you on the floor. Otherwise, you might be able to raise the head a little higher. So we're on all fours to begin. We exhale all breath. And as we inhale, we're going to raise the left arm and the right leg. So stretching fingertips and toes in opposite directions, pointing the toes. And on the exhale, we lower the palm and the knee. Other side, right arm, left leg. Stretch it out. And then see if your palm and knee can touch the mat at the same time. So it's like a moving meditation. Breathe in, left arm, right leg. Breathe out. Right arm, left leg. And lower. Now you can continue working in this manner, or we're going to now hold the balance. So left arm, right leg. You can either stay in this extended position, or some of you might like to bend the right leg, reach the left arm back around, either left hand on your buttock, or if you can, holding onto the foot or the ankle. And if you've got a hold, you start to lift. And if you feel steady enough, you might look forward or up. And breathe. Exploring what is still possible within your own body this morning. No right, no wrong, no judgment. And gently release it down. We'll try the other side. Right arm, left leg. Staying in this extended position, or bend the left leg. Right hand on the buttock, or if you can, holding onto the foot or the ankle. And starting to lift up. Face soft. Breath flowing. Good. And let's gently release. We'll all come down into child pose. Either your arms alongside you, or you can make fists with the hands and rest your forehead on your fists. Okay, now you can either stay in child, otherwise we're going to have a go at plank and do some yogi push-ups. Those of you who'd like to. But again, any wrist issues, you may not want to do plank at all. You can just stay in child or work with some gentle, maybe even a few rounds of cat. Otherwise, let's come back onto all fours. And if you're coming along with me, take the right leg back and then the left into plank. Now we're going to hold plank. We're just doing it once. You stay as long as you feel comfortable. Shoulders over the wrists. Fingers spread wide. Breath is flowing, opening the back of the knees. When you've had enough, there's no hurry. Just drop the knees. You might push back for a moment, and then we'll do up to 5 yogi push-ups. So knees are together. And as we exhale, we're going to see if we can lower the front of the body down, tucking the elbows in. And as we inhale, we push up. Exhale, lower. This is optional. Listen to your body this morning. Exhale, lower. Inhale, push up. Perhaps 2 more of these. And when you finish, push back into extended child. We'll all meet here. Breathe down into the lower back. Feeling your aliveness in this moment. breath flowing. Good. Okay, let's come up onto all fours once again. We're going to work with a flowing sequence, which takes us from this position into Parigasana gate. So again, if you're not quite sure, feel free to watch the first one and then join in. So from here, fingers spread wide. As we inhale, we're going to turn to the right. So extend the right leg back and we reach the right arm up towards the sky, looking up if that's okay for your neck. Otherwise, you can look forward. As we exhale, we come back onto all fours. And then we move to the other side. Breathe in, left leg long, left arm up. And exhale back onto all fours. Let's keep going. Inhale, right leg straight, right arm up. Exhale back to center. Left leg long, left arm up. And to center. You can continue flowing like this, or now we're going to hold Parigasana. So right leg long, right arm up. If you want to go a little bit further, turn that right arm and extend the arm over your head. And a final step for those of you feeling super strong this morning is you can try lifting that right foot off the mat. Flexing the foot, pushing out through the heel. Breathe. And then carefully come back to a neutral position and we'll try the other side. Left leg long, left arm up. You might stay here. Some of you might like to turn that left arm, extend the arm over your head, and perhaps lifting that left foot. Push out through the heel. Breathe. And come back to all fours. And again, we drop into extended child. Take a breath or two here. Okay. Now from here, we're going to have a go at flowing forward into Bhujangasana Cobra and then back into child. So we might do 4 or 5 of these. Of course, you can always stay resting in child if you're a bit low in energy this morning or you don't want to do the back bend. Otherwise, we just look, excuse me, along the mat. And as we breathe in, we come down low to the mat, keep the elbows tucking in. We lift, perhaps just a low lift to begin, and then bend the legs and push back into child. So sliding along the mat, elbows squeeze in, lifting up, bend the legs and push back. Let's do 3 or so more of these. Playing around with this movement. Keep the breath flowing. Good, 1 more if you'd like to. And then pausing in extended child for a breath or 2. Just checking in with yourself. Note what's going on inside, how you're feeling. Okay, now we're going to lift up into down face dog pose. So when you're ready, come up onto your knees, tuck your toes into dog. Now you're welcome to start by bending one leg and then the other. Otherwise, just holding dog. Your feet are at least hip width apart, a little bit pigeon-toed. Your fingers are spread wide. Your head is hanging. You might like to make a few yes and no movements with your head. Just make sure that your head is really relaxed here. The face is soft. You might like to blow the breath out through the mouth. Good. And then when you feel ready, we're going to walk our feet towards our hands. You can have the legs bent. Fingertips can come onto your shins or fingertips on the mat. Lift up halfway. And exhale, fold down. Now, while we're here, you might like to just sway. Let the upper body sway here. Good. And then we'll very slowly and carefully roll all the way up. Lift the shoulders up towards your ears and roll the shoulders down the back. Let's do a couple more of these. So roll them forward, lift them up towards your ears and squeeze the shoulder blades together. Once more. Good. And then resting your hands over your heart space, feet hip width apart, just spread your toes. In fact, you might even like to just rock back and forth on your feet a few times to begin, shifting the weight. And then you might even like to just sway a little bit from side to side. Take your awareness into your feet. How does this feel? Good. And then come back to center. If you feel comfortable, close the eyes for a moment, connecting with your breath and just reflecting on the relationship you have with your body. Does your body feel like a mansion or does it feel like a tiny house these days? Again, you might ask yourself, what is still possible? What is still possible? Gently release your arms down. Take your hands onto your hips. We're going to bring the heels to touch. We've been working with this a bit lately. I think most of you will know this. It's one of Thich Nhat Hanh's mindful movements. It's his squat practice. So it's a bit of a balance. You might need to keep the gaze steady on something in front of you that's not moving. As we breathe in, we're going to lift up onto the balls of the feet, lengthen up through the crown top. And as we exhale, we come into a squat, trying to keep the spine as straight as possible. You may not come down very far, that's okay. Inhale, straighten the legs up onto the balls of the feet. And exhale, we squat down again. Some of you might be able to come all the way down. Inhale up onto the balls of the feet. Crown top lengthening up towards the sky. Exhale, squat. Inhale, lift up. Nice deep breaths and exhale down. Let's do two more. Inhale. Grow tall and exhale. Last one. Inhale, lift up onto the balls of the feet, and this time lower your heels, release your hands, bring your feet back, hip width apart, little bit pigeon-toed, so the outer edges of the feet are parallel, shoulders back, the heart is open. We'll do a beautiful movement now just to help us open up the lungs and the heart a little bit more. It's really good for our posture as well, helping to roll the shoulders back and down. So we'll breathe in through the nose as we take the arms forward and up. And then we blow the breath out through the mouth. Nice and slowly. Breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Keep going, just in your own time, at your own pace, with your own breath. Finish the one you're on and work with 2 more. Good. Take a resting breath there. And then we'll do another lateral stretch, just a gentle flowing lateral stretch. So breathe your arms up above you, a little bit like the banana pose we did earlier. Hold the right wrist with your left hand and lean over to the left. Breathe yourself back to center, change the grip and over to the right. Inhale back to center and release your arms down. So we'll do 2 more of these. Breathe in. Hold the right wrist and lean over to the left. Back to center, change the grip. And to the right. Inhale. And release your arms. Last one. Okay, let's take that a little bit further now and work with Trikonasana, our triangle. So take the legs wide, turn your right toes around, left toes in. Make sure there's a straight line between the heel of the right foot and the arch of the back foot. That's to help with your alignment. And also, ideally, your feet are one of your leg dist widths or lengths apart. So often when I am with you, a lot of you have your feet a bit closer together. So try to make sure you've got a nice wide stance here. Shoulders are relaxed, the heart is open. Let's take a deep breath in, raise the arms to shoulder height, turn to the right, lean forward, and then take the right hand down, left arm up. Any shoulder issues, you might rest this top hand on your hip. Otherwise, left arm is up, and we're ideally looking for a straight line with our arms. If If you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, there's little or no weight in that right hand. And then depending on how your neck's feeling this morning, you can look forward or perhaps up towards your left thumb. And breathe. Now we're going to try and stay a little bit longer in this position this morning, but please know you can come out early if that's the better option for you. If you feel a bit wobbly, try pressing the right big toe into the mat and the outer edge of the left foot. Breathe into this shape you are creating with your body. Okay, let's bring the head to center. Inhale, come up. Release the arms and let's turn the feet around. So again, lining up your heel with the arch of the back foot, shoulders are square to the front, heart is open. Let's breathe in, raise the arms, turn to the left, leaning over, take the left arm down, right hand might be on your hip, otherwise extending that right arm up. Ideally, the arms are in a straight line and there's little or no weight in this left hand, left arm. You might be looking forward, or if the neck's feeling strong enough this morning, looking up towards your right thumb. Now find your breath here. Exploring your body with the breath. Perhaps finding spaces, breathing into spaces that you haven't visited for a while. A couple more breaths if you can. And then bring the head to neutral. Inhale, come up. And release the arms. Bring the legs in, back into Tadasana. And take a breath. Okay, we're going to do one more standing pose sequence, Warrior Two into Dancing Warrior. So we have a wide stance once again, right toes turned around. Exhale all breath. And then breathing in, raise the arms, turn to the right and bend the right leg. Now, if this is a bit intense for your arms or your shoulders, you can always rest one or two hands on your hips. Otherwise, the arms are in a straight line. You can have a look at the back arm, make sure it's straight. And then we're gazing along that right middle finger. Imagine someone's gently tugging you back by your left wrist. So we're not leaning over that bent leg. Ideally, the spine is in perpendicular to the floor. A nice long spine. Soften your shoulders. Sometimes they creep up towards the ears. Again, you can come out at any point if you need to. Okay, now as we inhale, we'll turn that right palm up and we're going to windmill the arms backwards. Dancing warrior. Now breathing into that right side of the torso. It's another beautiful lateral stretch. Breathing into the sides of the body. Good. Inhale, back into warrior two and release. We'll try the other side. So turn your feet around. Exhale. And then a breathe in. Raise the arms, turn to the left. Exhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Option to rest a hand or two on your hips. Otherwise, arms are in a straight line and we're gazing along that left middle finger. Softening the face. Again, you might like to imagine someone's gently tugging you back by your right wrist. Soften your shoulders down. Get another 2 breaths if you can. And then inhale, turn that left palm up. Let's windmill the arms backwards. Dancing warrior. One more breath here. And then inhale, back to center. And exhale. Release the legs. You might give them a little bit of a shake. And then we're going to come down to sit on our mats once again. And I'd like to invite you to work with your favorite forward bend. So it might be Paschimottanasana, the legs stretched out. You might be sitting up onto a folded blanket or a cushion. It might be wide legs, Upavista Konasana, coming forward. It might be Janushirasana with one foot into the groin, or it might even be cross-legged Sukhasana, coming forward. So we're going to work with this for the next couple of minutes. If you're doing a forward bend that has 2 sides like this one, because I need to come up halfway and then change the cross of the legs, then spend about 6 or 7 breaths on the first side, then come up and come forward again. Otherwise, if you're doing something where the legs are symmetrical, like Paschimottanasana, you'll just stay there for a little bit longer this morning than we normally would. So in your own time, you can come forward. You might raise the arms above the head, lengthen up through the spine, and then come forward. You might like to close the eyes. And at this point in the practice, you can start to allow the exhalation to be a little longer and deeper and fuller than the in-breath. So just allow the inhalation to come and then consciously slowing down the out-breath, helping us to prepare for relaxation.
So if you're doing two sides, you might come up about now, change the legs, and then come forward again. What is still possible? Just two more breaths here. And then when you're ready, slowly raise the arms up. Bring your palms together and bring the hands down to your heart. Take a breath here. And release. From here, we're going to come to lie down. Just bringing the knees into the chest, cross your legs at the ankles, have a hand on each knee, and making some nice slow circles on the floor with your lower back. Good. Cross the legs the other way and circling in the opposite direction. And come back to center. Hug the knees in. As you inhale, again, we're taking the legs to the sky, arms overhead or out to the side. And as we exhale, we draw the knees in, head may lift to the knees. Let's do a couple more of these. Inhale, legs up. And exhale. And again. Good. Now we're adding on a twist. So feet can be in the air for a stronger twist or bring them down to the mat. Inhale your arms out to shoulder height. And as you exhale, knees go to the right, head may turn to the left. Inhale, return to center. Press the lower back down. Knees to the left, head may go to the right. Inhale to center and exhale, hug the knees in. So legs to the sky, arms out to the side or overhead. Exhale, draw in. So feet stay in the air or go to the mat. Inhale your arms to shoulder height. Exhale, knees to the right, head may turn to the left. We're pausing here for one breath. Return yourself to center. Knees to the left, head to the right. Take a breath. Inhale back to center and give yourselves a hug as you exhale. So one more. Raise to the legs to the sky. And exhale. Inhale your arms out to shoulder height. Knees to the right, head may turn to the left, and we're staying for 2 breaths this time. Return your knees to center. Knees to the left, head may turn to the right, and again we stay for 2 breaths. Come back to center, give yourselves a hug and a little rock from side to side. So we're going to prepare now for Shavasana, relaxation, but if there's any movement your body would like before resting, please feel free just to spend the next minute attending to that. And then you can set yourself up for relaxation. Any lower back tenderness, you might pop some cushions or pillows under the back of your knees. Make sure that you're warm. If you wear glasses, you might like to pop those to the side. And I'll come up a bit closer again. You might start by sighing the breath away 2 or 3 times. Let the body settle down now into the support of Mother Earth. Giving in and letting go. Let the body go. Let the mind go. Let the breath go. While you're resting, I'd like to share with you some final words from Jeff Foster. You are the one I wake with every morning, the one I breathe with, the one whose every heartbeat I feel as my own. You are the one I walk with, the one I speak and sing with, the one who stays with me through every waking moment of every sacred day. You are the one I get sick with, the one I cry with, the one whose anger and joy and doubt surges through me like fire.
You are the one I will die with, the one whose arms I return to. You are the one I see in every face, shining through every pair of eyes, shimmering through the silences, the trails of dust, and the spaces in the canopy. You are my constant companion, my home, my reason, my joy, my life. We cannot be divided. We cannot be two. And even one is too far for us. I sing this song to myself, disappearing into the song, and I am never alone. If you'd like to remain lying down, please feel free to stay as you are. But if you are ready to move on into the rest of your day, start now to deepen the breath. Just wriggle your fingers and your toes. Have a bit of a stretch. You might roll on to one side and just stay there for a moment. And ask yourself the question, what have I noticed about myself during the practice this morning that I hadn't noticed before? We'll close with one Om. So if you'd like to join with me, come up to sit. Bring your hands together at the heart space. Exhale all breath. Breathing in. Namaste. Thank you for joining me this morning. Have a beautiful day. I'll see you soon.